Okay. So this is Laghu Bhagavatamrta chapter 4, from verse 1 to 24 we are going to discuss. So this talks about Manvantara incarnations. So it covers both about Manus and also Manvantara incarnations by Supreme Lord. We will not recite slokas since it is already covered before. We need to recap. So this chapter is focusing primarily on Manvantara incarnation for the first 24 slokas. Then a couple of slokas on Yuga Avataras. Yuga Avataras, not detailed discussion was given in this chapter, but we'll cover a detailed discussion based on the previous seminars which I took. Some of you might have attended. Anyway, that is next week. So the Manvantara Avatara is Lord Mukunda appearing among the demigods, usually for the purpose of helping Indra by killing his enemies. So usually Lord's appearance, every incarnation has a specific purpose. So this Manvantara incarnations has a very generic purpose of helping Manu and helping Indra of that particular Manu's period, and to make sure that there are no disturbance in the ruling of Manu and Indra during their period. So he basically helps them to rule peacefully, and as mentioned here, usually for the purpose of helping Indra by killing his enemies. So that shows that this Manvantara incarnation is very powerful incarnations. Some of the general incarnation Leela Avataras are also overlapped in this Manvantara incarnations when he takes when he appears during Manu's period and also performs a specific Leela. So that is considered Leela Avatara and also Manvantara incarnation. So every time he comes, most of the occasions, his purpose is to help Indra by killing enemies. So Indra's enemies are usually demons. So by killing demons, so he gives a comfort for Indra to rule peacefully. Because Indra is always worried about his position, worried about heavenly planets. Some demon will come and occupy. So every time Manvantara incarnation is there to help Indra to take care of that. So as Manvantara incarnation, Lord became the descendant of each Manu's dynasty and ruled over the miscreant kingly order, subduing them by his powerful wheel weapon. Undeterred in all circumstances, his rule was characterized by his glorious fame, which spread over the three lokas and above them to the planetary system of Satyaloka, the topmost of the universe. So this is explanation given by Brahma to Narada in second canto, chapter 7, verse 20. So that he becomes a descendant of each of Manu's dynasty. So in Manu's dynasty, or very close to Manu's dynasty, he appears. Most of the time, with Manu's dynasty appears, and he helps. He is very ferocious, very powerful incarnation. This Manvantara incarnation, and he is known. His chivalry. He is. Parakrama known to all the three worlds, upper and Bhuloka and lower planetary system. All the three lokas, his fame, his glorious fame is spread. And even it has gone above them to the planetary system of Satyaloka also. So we discussed how Lord Brahma's each year, because Lord Manu appears in every day of Brahma. In every day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus that appear. That's what we discussed. To understand that, we also went much broader picture of Lord Brahma's year. So, assuming that this is a cycle of Brahma's 360 days, a year of Brahma, how this the whole year is divided. We discussed in the previous classes, and we are going to see today again. So each year of Brahma is divided into so each the life of Brahma is divided into 36,000 kalpas or 36,000 days. That is 360 days of a year times 100 years of a Brahma. So that is 36,000 days of Brahma is 311.04 trillion years and equal number of nights. So this is start with the whole the life of a Brahma. From there, out of 36,000 kalpas, that is 36,000 days of Brahma. So now we are going into each day of Brahma. Each day of Brahma is like one of the 36,000 days is taken here as a sample, and we are going to analyze one particular day of Brahma. What happens in a day of Brahma? So in a day of Brahma, or which is Kalpa of Brahma, which is 4.32 billion years, in this there are 14 Manvantaras appear. 14 Manus they appear and rule over the whole earthly planet. So when we say 14 Manus, so every day of Brahma, this 14 Manus will continue to appear. So it is a chain, like a position. Every time somebody else will take over that position, the 14 Manus, the names will remain the same. And every time some Jiva, if there is no qualified Jiva is there, Lord himself will come as a Manu. And there are 14 Manus appear in one day of Brahma. And between two Manus, there is a Sandhya period is there. So that is that period between the two Manus is called Sandhya. And that time there is nothing happens. The partial devastation will be taking place during that period. So that is one day of Brahma, which is ruled by 14 Manus. So now further we go into deep of each Manu's period. One of the 14 Manus, if we take it, drill it down, so we come to one of such Manu's period. This is called Manvantara. So each Manu's period is 306.72 million years. So which is equal to 71 Divya Yugas. What is 71 Divya Yugas? There are each Divya Yuga is a cycle of 4 yugas. So each Divya Yuga cycle of 4 yugas. So likewise, that 4 yugas, that one cycle of 4 yugas, 71 such yugas, Divya Yugas, is lifespan of one Manu. So it looks very big in number compared to our human lifespan and all. But for Brahma, it is very insignificant. For him, within one day, 71 Divya Yugas will pass on. Means Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, 4 yugas times 71 will be not even one day of Brahma. That is 1/14th day of Brahma. So likewise, times 14 will be one day, and again equivalent in the night. That will be 124 hours for Brahma. So now 71 Divya Yugas is the lifespan of each Manu. So when we further drill it down, one of such Divya Yuga is 4.32 million years, which is a combination of 4 yugas. So we all know Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So lifespan of the life of each yuga is given here. Satya Yuga is 1.728 million years, and Treta Yuga is 1.296 million years. Dwapara Yuga is 864,000, and Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. And one of such Kali Yuga we are in today. So we have already exhausted 5,000 plus years of this particular Kali Yuga, and another 4,27,000 years are there to complete this particular Kali Yuga. So combination of these 4 yugas, Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga, is one Divya Yuga, and for 71 of such Divya Yugas is one Manvantara, and 14 of such Manvantara is one day of Brahma, and 100 days, 360 days of such this one is 1 year for Brahma, and likewise Brahma will live for 100 years, which is 311.04 trillion years. So it is a very, very big number for our tiny brain, but for Brahma, he's already finished. He's worried that he has already finished 50 years of his age. And present Brahma, he is in 51st year is going on, and he's very much worried that his lifespan, more than 50% of his lifespan is finished without doing any quality or productive devotional service is the worry of Brahma. So that is the worry of Brahma, who is huge, who has a very huge lifespan. So we should all be very, very careful in utilizing every moment, every minute of the very precious lifespan is given to us. So this is a lesson for us to uh, take from Brahma. So again, same thing we further discussed how 1 day of Brahma, one kalpa of Brahma is divided. What we saw in the previous slide, we'll see again further detail. So here you can see one kalpa or 1 day of Brahma is divided into 14 uh, slots. You can say 14 periods, 14 equal life spans. So each one is ruled by the 14 Manvantaras, the 14 Manus. So each Manu will have 71 Divya Yugas, as you see in the screen. Each Divya Yuga or each Chatur Yuga, can say it is a combination of 4 yugas. So Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali Yuga is together is counted as one Chatur Yuga. So this is a combination calculation. What we saw, we discussed in the previous classes also. This is self-explanatory, doesn't need much of explanation, which we the sincere, serious readers of Srimad Bhagavatam, they know all these numbers. So it is more of academic for us to understand how Brahma's lifespan of 311.04 trillion years is calculated. So likewise, one Divya Yuga is 4.32 billion years. From there, 71 Divya Yugas, which is the lifespan of one Manu. And likewise, 14 Manus will be 1 day of Brahma, which is 4.294 billion years. So likewise, 15 Sandhyas are there. So during Sandhya period, there is no creation happens. There is nothing, no Yugas also there. It is simply night. It's complete dark. So there is no yugas, there is no living entities, or there is no creation happens during the Sandhya period. So that's why there you will not see the yugas span. Like otherwise, it would have been equal to 4.294 billion years. So Sandhya period is only 25.92 years, million years. Then 1 day of Brahma is 12 hours. Night of Brahma is again 12 hours. There also nothing happens, is complete darkness. So that is exactly equivalent to his day of Brahma. And during a night time also there is no creation happens. Everything will be standstill, complete dark. So that is 4.32 billion years. So that makes 1 day of Brahma to 8.64 billion years. So that is 1 day of Brahma. So 36,000 of such days will be his lifespan, which is 311.04 trillion years. So this is calculation from our human perspective. So coming back to our discussion, the 14 Manus. So starting with Swayambhu Manu till Indra's Savarni Manu, there are 14 Manus. These 14 Manus will be there. The same Manus will be there every day of Brahma. Means that Swayambhu Manu on day one he'll be there. Again, day two, again Swayambhu Manu will be there. The person who takes over the position of Swayambhu Manu may be different, but the name remains same. Swayambhu Manu, tomorrow somebody else can become Swayambhu Manu. Maybe Baudhani Mataji can become Swayambhu Manu. So likewise, anybody can occupy the position of Swayambhu Manu, but the name will not be Bhautani Mataji, name will be Swayambhu Manu. She will be called as Swayambhu Manu only. So likewise, these 14 Manus will constant remain, and every day these 14 Manus will keep appearing. And as we all know, we are today in currently we are into Vaivasut Manu's period. Seventh Manu, sixth Manu's period is already finished. Seventh Manu period of this particular day of Brahma, seventh Manu's period is going on. After that, again, 7 more Manus will rule. Then this day will be completed. Then Brahma will go for sleep. So we also discussed during each Manu's period, as we also discussed before that, not only Manus, not only Indra, there are also Saptarishis also there. If you remember, during Sandhya period, when Manu's one period is finished, one day, Manu's 71 Divya Yugas is finished. During his Sandhya period, there will be complete devastation of this earthly planet, and the earth will take the position of a boat, and Lord in the form of fish incarnation, he comes and pulls the boat, and along with the Mother Earth in the form of a boat, she will carry the next future Manu, the next Manu who is going to take over. He will be boarding the boat along with the new Saptarishis. So every time the Saptarishis will change. So Manu will change, Saptarishis also will change, and they will be guiding Manu in how to rule the kingdom. So that is the main purpose. If you see all the 14 Manus, they have a different Saptarishis, and sometimes these Saptarishis names may be repeating, but altogether are the different Saptarishis. Currently, the current Manu, Vaivasut Manu, has 7 rishis, Saptarishis: Atri, Angirasa, Pulaha, Pulasya, Kratu, Marichi, and Vasishta. These are the 7 rishis who are guiding Vaivasut Manu, current Manu's period. So they will be boarding, these 7 rishis will be boarding during the Sandhya period of a previous Manu. They will be boarding the boat, the Mother Earth, along with the Jivas, and also the Vedas. So Mother Earth will carry them, and the fish incarnation, Lord in the form of fish incarnation, Matsya Avtara, he will be pulling this boat, and he'll be moving here and there till the Sandhya period is finished, till the next Manu's time starts. So once the next Manu's time starts, then Brahma will start the creation again, and then Manu will take over, and Saptarishis will start guiding him, and the whole creation will start. And then Manvantara incarnation will come, and he will be helping the Indra. All these things will continue. So Indra will change, Manu will change, Manvantara incarnation will come, and also Saptarishis will change. This happens every one day of Manu. So it means that if not every day, every lifespan of Manu, the complete revamp of things happen. Indra will be retiring, he will be dying. One of these will happen. Saptarishis will leave, and either they will go back, go to higher planetary systems along with Indra and the previous Manu, and Saptarishis, new Saptarishis will come, new Manu will come, and the new creation will start, and the new rule will start again. So this is the broad background of how this happens. So this is what we discussed. Lord in the form of Matsya incarnation, he will be pulling this boat. Boat is none other than Mother Earth, and the new Manu will be sitting. Means the Manu who is going to take over the Sandhya period, means that is a period between the 2 Manus. During that period, the old Manu will be retiring, and he will be either he will die or he will go to a higher planetary system, and from there he will go to Brahmaloka and to spiritual world, depending on his pious activity or his devotional service. Otherwise, during the Sandhya period, this is what exactly is going to happen. So Saptarishis will be there, and new Manu will be there. New Saptarishis, new Manu, and the same Mother Earth and same Lord. So he comes as a Matsya Avtara, and he will be taking the Mother Earth along with the Manu and other Saptarishis. So they will be along with the Vedas also. So they will Matsya Avatara, Lord will take them here and there till he will be moving around. So there is nothing, because the whole period of Sandhya will be dark, nothing will be there, and simply they will be floating in the devastation water. So this is Manu's Sandhya period. So we broadly discussed, this discussion will come again in the this chapter, next chapter. We are going to discuss in detail next chapter. I think this chapter, next chapter, if I don't remember. We are going to discuss further about Chaturviha incarnations and everything which we discussed before. So all the discussion will come again. So broadly, we discussed how the incarnations of the Lord will happen, different categories of incarnations, and what criteria Lord will take a different incarnation. So we discussed about Swayam Rupa and Lord, how he appears in the form of different Prabhava Prakasha, Vilasa Prakasha, so forms of incarnations. So that everything is coming from Tadekatma Rupa. So there is a Swayam Rupa is there, which is Lord himself, and Tadekatma Rupa is a source for all other further incarnations of the Lord, different categories of incarnations of the Lord. So everything is emanating from Tadekatma Rupa. So that is divided into broadly Prabhava Prakasha and Vilasa Prakasha, and Swamsa expansions. These three are different categories. So we discussed this in detail in the previous, I think the first couple of chapters we discussed about this. So we're not going in further detail about this. If any specific question is there, we can take up depending on the time this week or next week. Otherwise, this is the broad categories, broad criteria of how and why Lord will take different incarnations. So broadly, if you see the Prabhava Prakasha, this is the multiple forms with the same features. Example, the Rasa dance with the queens of Dwarka. So here the Lord remains the same, but he expands. So Lord is there in all 16,108 palaces. With every queen, he'll be there. The same way he is dancing with every gopi. So Lord, there is no difference. So the multiple forms with exactly the same features. So again, that is further divided into Vaibhava Prakasha also. So Vaibhava Prakasha expansions, the different emotions and bodily features. Example, Balram, son of Devaki, etc. So he is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, but his emotions will be different, his bodily features are different. Otherwise, they are not different. So example is Balram is the best example for this Vaibhava Prakasha. So he and Krishna, they are not different, but his bodily features are different and his emotions are different. So his emotion is a serving attitude towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is different bodily features, but he is the same. So that is Vaibhava Prakasha. So likewise, we have Vilasa expansions and other Swamsa expansions. So Vilasa expansions further categorized into Prabhava Vilasa and Vaibhava Vilasa. And from there, Chaturviha, Adi Chaturviha and Dvitiya Chaturviha will come. They are partially potent manifestations as a Vaibhava Vilasa, and fully potent manifestations is a Prabhava Vilasa. So it means that they have potency, fully potent, and they will exhibit. Whereas partial potent means it doesn't mean that they don't have potency, but they don't exhibit. They don't exhibit the full potency, because that potency, exhibition of that potency is not required for this particular incarnation. So all those categories all come under Vaibhava Vilasa. Then the Swamsa expansions further categorized into Lila, Yuga Avataras, Guna Avataras, Purusha Avataras. And Purusha Avataras, we discussed Karana, Garbha, and Kshira incarnations. Then finally, we have Avesha incarnations also, which is a third category. So this is what we discussed on different categories of incarnations, just for easy to understand for our further discussion. So in verse 2, we discussed about Kalpavataras like Lord Yagna are also clearly Manvantara incarnations, because they give special protection for the duration of the reigns of particular Manus. So some of the Kalpa incarnations, Kalpavataras we discussed in the previous chapter, they also overlap come into category of Manvantara incarnations. So those incarnations, the detailed discussion is not given in this chapter, but we covered discussing about who is Yagna and what is his role. So these incarnations beginning with Yagna and ending with Bruhad Bhanu are said to appear one after another in successive Manvantaras, beginning with the reign of Swayambhu Manu. So we already saw the 14 Manus period. We saw so each of Manu's period there will be only one Manvantara. So likewise, the first Swayambhu Manu's period, Yagna will come. So Yagna, we saw that during Yagna's period there was no qualified Indra, so he also become Indra. So he expand further, himself becomes Indra. That's what we saw. Since the Lord Yagna has already been described, he will not again be written about here in this chapter, is what Rupa Goswami is saying. So this also we discussed at very detailed about the lineage of Swambhu Manu, so we'll not go into very detail. He had two children, Priyavrata, Uttanpada, and there are three daughters. So the third daughter, some places it is mentioned, some places not mentioned. So depending on that, we can discuss. So here our topic is more on why Privratas, what is the role of Privrata and Tanpada. So for that, this particular slide is being discussed. So Privrata, as we saw that no, he was not interested in ruling the kingdom, though he was the elder son of Swambhu Manu. So since he was not showing interest, so Swambhu Manu has given the reins to Tanapada. So Tanapada is again father of Dhruva Maharaj, we know. So from Uttanpada, Dhruva Maharaj has taken over the reins of ruling this earthly planet. During the lineage of family lineage of Dhruva, somewhere it went and stopped. There's no further, there's no qualified person to take over the rule of this earthly planet. So Swambhu Manu, that time still was alive. So he requested Priyavrata to take over. So that is how Priyavrata will come back into the picture. Priyavrata was not showing an interest because his idea was to engage in the austerity and doing tapasya and performing devotional service. But he was requested by his father and also requested by his spiritual master Narada Maharshi. With the permission of Narada Maharshi, he takes over the rule in the kingdom. So we discussed Priyavrata had two wives. First wife he had again 11 children. Second wife he had 3 children. So this is Priyavrata's role is very important because Priyavrata's father was a Manu and his children are also Manus. So that we will discuss like how it happens. Tamas and Raivata, they are how they become Manus. We are going to discuss. Out of this 11 children of Priyavrata from the first wife, the 3 accepted sannyasa. So we'll not go into detail. This is a entirely different topic. Our purpose is to understand Manus and Manvantara incarnations. So this is only since Priyavrata, how Priyavrata is connected to the whole Manvantara. That's why his name is being discussed here. His father is Manu, and his some of his children are also Manu. So that's why we are going to we are discussing about this slide. So this is about Priyavrata and Priyavrata's second wife children Uttama, Tamasa, and Raivata. So out of that, these 3 Uttama, Tamasa, and Raivata, they become 3rd, 4th, and 5th Manus. Priyavrata enjoys a very typical position. He himself is not a Manu, but his father is Swayambhu Manu, and his children, they are 3rd, 4th, and 5th Manu. So it's very difficult to comprehend and understand, digest. When we say Manu, Manu's lifespan is like 71 Divya Vikas will be the lifespan of Manu. Then how Priyavrata's 3 children can rule 17 Divya? What happened to Tamas Manu and Raivat Manu during that period? So these are all beyond our understanding. So better for us to accept what has been given in the Shastras. So for us, just let us accept this information from Srimad Bhagavatam and the scriptures that Priyavrata father was a Manu and his 3 of his children third son, fourth, third and fourth, his children, Uttama, Tamasa, Raivata. These three are third, fourth, and fifth Manus. So that is Privrata's role is very, very crucial. So the next verse we discussed about Lord Vibhu appeared in the second Manvantara. So the first Manvantara period, Swambhu Manu's period, we saw Yagna has appeared and he himself become Indra. And the second Manu's period, uh, second Manu is a Swarochisa. So during his period, Vibhu, Lord Vibhu has appeared. So Vibhu is a Manvantara incarnation. Vedasira was a great rishi. Through him, from the womb of his wife Tushita, came the celebrated Avatara Vibhu. So not much detailed explanation or information was given about this Manvantara incarnation, except wherever it is required, scriptures have revealed. Otherwise, not much of information is given. So, except that now, for now, to understand, Vibhu was the second Manvantara incarnation. He appeared during the period of Swarochisa. So, he remained brahmachari, never marrying throughout his life. 88,000 saintly persons took lessons from him on self-control, austerity, and similar behavior. So he has taught, Vibhu has taught the art of austerity and self-control to the many saintly persons who have taken the task of further teaching this art of self-control to their descendants. That was the main reason of this Vibhu's appearance. He was the second Manvantara. The third Manvantara ruled by Uttama. Uttama was the third Manu, who was the son of Privrata, as we saw in the previous slides. The third Manu was Uttama, and during his period, Satyasena, who was a Manvantara incarnation, he appeared. So in this Manvantara, Supreme Personality Godhead appeared from the womb of Sunruta, the wife of Dharma, the demigod in charge of religion. The Lord was celebrated as Satyasena and he appeared with other demigods known as Satyavratas. So Satyasena was third Manvantara incarnation, and as every time his role will be more or less same. He will be helping Indra and he will be helping Manu to establish the dharma, to rule the kingdom peacefully, and to kill the demons creating trouble during that period. During his period, Satyajit was Indra. Satyasena killed all the untruthful, impious, misbehaved Yakshas, Rakshasas, and ghosts who all torment other living beings. As we said, as we discussed, the role of Manvantara incarnation is to annihilate the demons and help the Indra. So during this period, Satyajit was Indra, and he has been helped by Satyasena. The fourth Manvantara ruled by Tamasa. Tamasa was again the son of Privrata, as we saw in the previous slides. So he is the fourth Manu, and also he is a second son of Privrata from his second wife. So he is that was Tamasa, and during his period, Manvantara incarnation was Hari. So in this Manvantara, Supreme Lord Vishnu, known by the name Hari, took birth from the womb of Harini, the wife of Harimeda. Hari saved his devotee Gajendra, the king of elephants, from the mouth of crocodile. So Gajendra Moksha is a well-known pastime we all know, but we were not that much aware that who was which form of the Lord has come to save the Gajendra. So it was not Lord of Vaikuntha directly he came, but it was Hari, who was the Manvantara, fourth Manvantara incarnation, who was already appeared in this material world in the name of Hari. His name was also Hari, and he taken birth in the womb of Harini, the wife of Harimeda. So when Gajendra called the Supreme Personality Godhead, so he appeared. Hari appeared. Hari came. So even he was carrying Garuda with him, because since is non-different from the Lord, so Garuda also there with him. So we can't differentiate the king of Vaikuntha, Narayana, and this Hari. Both are same, but he is the incarnation of Lord. So he appears and saves Gajendra, and the whole episode we know how it happened. So that was the fourth incarnation. To destroy all inauspiciousness, persons seriously devoted to virtuous behavior. Remember this form of Lord Hari, the deliverer of King of Elephants, each morning. So it is very auspicious for a person, for even for a devotees also to remember that particular form of the Lord, to uh, get rid of all the inauspiciousness, hurdles in our devotional service. We can pray like how Lord was prayed by Gajendra, and how Lord Hari appeared and annihilated the crocodile. So we in this material world can pray to Supreme Personality World in the same way, so that Lord appears and he annihilates the Maya, which is like a crocodile holding us, binding us into this material world, because Maya is a binding force, binding us into this material existence. So Lord will appear and he will annihilate, he will kill, or he will release us from the clutches of Maya, and that is the role of Hari. So it is recommended that one remembers this form of the Lord to get rid of all the inauspiciousness in our devotional life. The fifth Manvantara ruled by Raivata. Raivata was the fifth Manu. He is again third son of Privrata from his second wife. So he is the fifth Manu. During his period, Lord appeared as a Vaikuntha in his Manvantara incarnation. So, for who is Vaikuntha? Vaikuntha is son of Subhra and wife Vikuntha. So these two were great personalities during the period of Raivata. So from their womb, from their family, Lord Vaikuntha appeared, and along with his best of demigods, Vaikunthas, his personal plenary expansions. So all the demigods, the most of the demigods, who were all there in the spiritual world. If you remember carefully, if you remember carefully, the during this Goloka seminar also we discussed in the Vaikuntha planet. In Vaikuntha planets, the different demigods are also residing. So they are associates of the Lord. So here we are referring to them. So along with the best of the demigods, Vaikunthas, so the associates of the Lord in Vaikunthas, they also appeared along with the Lord when he came as Vaikuntha in this material world as a fifth incarnation, fifth Manvantara incarnation. So all those demigods also, demigods means they are associates of the lords. They are like the Indra was there, Agni was there. So they're all in a spiritual world, Vaikuntha planet also. They're all associates. They're not expansion of the Lord, but they're all associates of the Lord in Vaikuntha planets. And the Indra, whoever is Indra appearing, he gets his potency of that Indra who is associate of the Lord in Vaikuntha. So that was the reason why these associates who are the demigod, the originators of demigods also reside in Vaikuntha planet. So they are all one way they are personal plenary expansion means they get that potency of the Lord for them to help the demigods in this material world to continue to help even Indra in discharge of his duties. So Lord appears in this material world as a Vaikuntha, as a fifth incarnation. Just to please the goddess of fortune, at her request, Vaikuntha created another Vaikuntha planet, which is worshipped by everyone in this material world. So this happened in that particular day of Brahma, that particular Manu's period. He created another Vaikuntha planet in this material world, which is worshipped by everyone. So people imagine that this planet is located above Satyaloka, but it is actually manifestation of all pervading and infallible supreme world of Vaikuntha. So this is not visible for mundane people, conditioned people like us. But this speculation that people imagine that this planet is located above Satyaloka, but actually it is there everywhere. It is manifested. It is spread over uh, uh, bigger area than not one specific place above Satyaloka. So it is a manifestation of all pervading infallible supreme world of Vaikuntha. So in the sixth Manvantara ruled by Chakshusa, who is the sixth Manu is Chakshusa, and sixth Manvantara is Ajita. He appeared in the sixth Manvantara. Lord Vishnu, the Master of the Universe, appeared in his partial expansion. He was begotten by Vairaja in the womb of his wife Sambhuti, and his name was Ajita. If you remember the pastime of Kshirasagara pastime, where Lord takes different incarnations in the particular single episode in this particular Leela. Lord takes different incarnations. The personality who's sitting above this, if you see in this picture, the person who is sitting on the top, he is Ajita. So he is balancing so that the Shirasar Madhana takes place smoothly. So Lord is there as a Kurma in the bottom of hill, and also is there as a the serpent. So there also snake. He also is expansion. So everywhere Lord is there, and also when the nectar has come out, he again takes a form of a beautiful lady, and then he distributes the nectar. So he takes different incarnations, different forms in one particular Leela. So the personality who's sitting above this in the picture, if you see, he is Ajita. So he was uh, uh, ruled. He was during the rule of Chakshusa, and he was the sixth Manvantara incarnation. So by churning the ocean of milk, Ajita produced nectar for the demigods. In the form of a tortoise, he moved here and there, carrying his back the great mountain known as Mandara. So as we discussed, he took a different expansions in the same time. So he was also the tortoise. Ajita was overseeing the whole episode, sitting at the top of a Mandara mountain. So he, wherever is required, he expands and helping. He takes a form of a tortoise and make sure that it is balanced. So he was overseeing the whole episode, whole Leela of Kshirasagara, um, um, the Leela of Kshirasagara, and churning the nectar out of this ocean of milk. So we already in the verse 10, verse 16, sorry, verse 16, we already described the appearance of Lord Vamana during Manvantara. Now we will describe the 7 future Manvantara avatars who will appear during the reigns of Savarni and the other remaining Manus. So Vamana was the next Manvantara incarnation after the sixth Ajita. Seventh was Vamana incarnation. About Vamana incarnation, we discussed in the previous chapter, who was one of Leela Avatar also of the Lord. So not much discussion was required, because about Vamana, we all know, we discussed even in Srimad Bhagavatam also, and even previous chapter, third chapter also we discussed in detail. So that was about 7th Manvantara incarnation. Sorry, 8th. I think that was 8th. The 9th Manvantara, ruled by Daksha Savarni, Rishabha will appear. Rishabdeva, partial incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will take birth from his father Ayushman and mother Ambudhara. He will enable the Indra named Adbhuta to enjoy opulence of 3 worlds. So Rishabhadev, we all know, he is again partial incarnation of the Lord, and he is considered as originator for Jain religion, another sect which is considered, he is originator for that religion, is what people believe. So he was the 9th incarnation, 9th Manvantara incarnation. and during his period, Indra was Adbhuta. So he helps this Indra to rule the kingdom or rule these heavenly planets peacefully. So in the 10th Manvantara, ruled by Brahma Savarni, Vishwaksena will appear. A plenary portion of Supreme Personality Godhead named Vishwaksena will appear in the home of Vishwajit from the womb of Vishuchi. He will make friends with Shambhu. So he is again 10th Manvantara incarnation, and he appears during the period of Brahma Savarni, who was the 10th Manu. 10th Manu will be Brahma Savarni. For us now, he is going to be future tense. So he is going to be appear. That's why he mentioned Vishwaksena will appear. A plenary portion of Supreme Personality Godhead named Vishwaksena will appear in the home of Vishwajit from the womb of Visuchi. So the 11th Manvantara, ruled by Dharma Savarni, Dharma Setu will appear. The son of Aryakan, named Dharma Setu, is a partial incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Will appear in the womb of Vaidrita and will rule the three worlds. So he is 11th incarnation, 11th Manvantara incarnation by name Dharma Setu. So he appears during the period of Dharma Savarni. So in the 12th Manvantara period, ruled by Rudra Savarni. So Rudra Savarni was the 12th Manu. During his period, Sudhama will appear, and he's again his partial incarnation of Supreme Personality Godhead. He will rule the 12th Manvantara. Here, rule with the 12th Manvantara, not that he is a king or something. He will be helping Manu, and he will be helping the Indra. So that is what actually it means. He will rule the 12th Manvantara. Means he will give all his support to Manu and Indra during this period. So that is Sudhama, who is 12th Manvantara. And 13th Manvantara, Manu is a Deva Savarni, and Yogeshwara is Manvantara incarnation. The partial incarnation of the Supreme Personality Godhead will appear the son of father Devahotra and mother Brihati. He will perform activities for the welfare of Divaspati. So Divaspati is Indra during this period, and Deva Savarni is Manu or will be Manu, and Yogeshwara will be Manvantara incarnation. So in the 14th Manvantara, the last Manvantara incarnation of the day of Brahma, ruled by Indra Savarni. The 14th Manu is Indra Savarni, and Bruhad Bhanu will appear. Bruhad Bhanu is last of the 14 Manvantara incarnations. So King Parikshit, the 14th Manvantara, the Supreme Personality Godhead will appear from the womb of Vitana through his father Satrayana. This incarnation, celebrated as Bruhad Bhanu, will promote spiritual activities. So because by then, of course, every day of Brahma, the 17th Divya Yugas will come, and so as we proceed, because this is towards end of Brahma's day. So after this, Sandhya period will come. Brahma will go into sleep. By then, the religious activities will start growing more. Even in other yugas, also religious activities will start growing, because it's towards the end of Brahma's day. So Lord appears specifically to promote spiritual activities, inculcate the create the awareness for spirituality among the people. So he appears as a Bruhad Bhanu. That will be one of his major role. So this is the whole summary of 14 Manus and Manvantara incarnations and Indra during this period. Similarly, we saw who will be the Saptarishis during each Manu's period that we saw in the very first slide. So this is a summary of Manu, Manvantara incarnation, and Indra. So presently we are in Vaivasvata Manu's period, 7th, and Vamana was Manvantara incarnation during this period, and Purandhara is our Indra. So today's Indra for us is Purandhara. He will be there during this Vaivasvata Manu's period, and after that Bali Maharaj will become Indra. So that will be Savarni, the 8th Manu's period. So since the two avatars, Yajna and Vamana, have been described already, only 12 Manvantara incarnations have been counted. In this particular discussion, this chapter, Rupa Goswami has not given a detailed discussion about Yagna and Vamana, because these two incarnations were described in the previous chapter. So the detailed description he has given only about the rest of the 12 Manvantara incarnations. So this ends the discussion of Manvantara avatars. So this is a recap of all the 14 Manvantara incarnations. So if we have any specific questions, we can discuss for a few minutes. We are exactly 2 minutes away from our closing time. So do you have any questions or comments? Any specific?
What is the verse 4.17 describes, Prabhu? 4.17.
4.17. The eighth Manvantara ruled by Savarni, Sarvabhauma will appear. It was not mentioned, Mataji. We missed it.
Yeah, it was not there.
Okay, maybe while deleting unwanted, that has gone.
Okay.
Because I clubbed two presentations. Maybe during that one slide was missed out. The 17 is talking about. That's why I said one of the Manvantara incarnation was missed. So after 7th, we jump to 9th. So 14th, 17th sloka is talking about 8th Manvantara. Ruled by Savarni was Manu, and Sarvabhauma will be the Manvantara incarnation. The 8th Manvantara, the greatly powerful personality of Godhead, Sarvabhauma, will take birth. His father will be Devaguhya, his mother Saraswati. He will take the kingdom away from Purandhara. So Purandhara will be, or he is our current Indra. So
Indra.
he will take over the kingdom, heavenly planets from Purandhara, and then he'll hand it over to Bali Maharaj. So this is one of the important responsibility, role of Manvantara incarnation. He is a medium between the two Indras. So he will take over from the previous Indra and he'll hand it over to next Indra. So that is the role of Manvantara incarnation. So here specifically is mentioned that he will take away kingdom from Purandhara, current Indra, and he will give it to the next coming Indra, who is Bali Maharaj. So that is verse 17. Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Radhakrishna Prabhu.
Radhakrishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu, for again giving us, enlightening us about the scripture. I just wanted to check, Prabhu, that between two, the second or third slide, you have shown that between two Manus, there is a partial devastation. Yeah. So this partial devastation is basically annihilating all except four lokas. All other lokas are basically destroyed. Prabhu, it's like this, or
it is basically the earthly planet, Prabhu. Earthly planet will be, if you remember, earthly planet means here it is not the globe, it is a disc. If you remember the previous seminar which I took, one of the seminars,
correct,
Vedic cosmology. So there we discussed the disc that is completely under water. Means because the disc is what? Disc is floating on the ocean, Garbhodaka ocean. So that ocean, the water will come above the disc. So means that time Mother Earth will take the form of a boat and she will be floating on the water.
So this is happening each Manvantara, no, Prabhu?
Yes, each Manvantara. So if you remember the role of Matsyavatara, so this is exactly what he does. Every Manvantara period, Manvantara Sandhya period, Lord will take the form of Matsya, and then he will take the boat, he'll pull the boat and he will be moving here and there on the water till the next Manu's period starts.